Diana has been dead for 28 years, and I'm still paying back the debt she left behind. I'm Camilla. When she died in 1997,
The day after he penned the words that would shake the British monarchy to its very core, Charles Spencer stood in a silent room, looking down at his sister's coffin. He read the speech aloud to her still, lifeless form, feeling a profound, devastating sense of innocence radiating from the woman the world thought they knew. She wasn't just a global icon, the people's princess, or a tragic headline. She was his sister. And outside that quiet room, a massive, calculated machinery was preparing to subject her grieving children to a public ordeal so brutal it would leave psychological scars for decades to come. Welcome back. Here, we dissect the hidden histories, the psychological chess matches, and the raw human truth behind the world's most heavily guarded institutions. Today, we are pulling back the velvet curtain on the deepest betrayal behind Princess Diana's burial. A hidden battlefield where a furious brother fought to protect two young princes from a forced public performance, only to find himself lied to by the institution itself. To understand the rage that culminated inside Westminster Abbey, we have to go back to the early hours of August 31st, 1997, inside a dark tunnel in Paris. A black Mercedes, fleeing a relentless pack of paparazzi, crumpled like paper against a concrete pillar. Diana survived the initial impact, but her life was slipping away in the wreckage. Miles away in South Africa, Charles Spencer was fast asleep when the first phone call pierced the silence of the night. The voice on the other end was measured, reporting that Diana had been in a serious accident. Spencer's mind immediately flared with anger toward the photographers who had hounded his sister for years, but he had no idea the nightmare was only just beginning. An hour later, the second call came. This time, the voice was colder, delivering the final, unimaginable truth with clinical precision. Diana was dead. As the news hit the airwaves, a wave of collective heartbreak washed over the globe. Outside Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace, the atmosphere became heavy with grief. Millions of people spontaneously gathered, weeping openly, burying their faces in their hands, and laying a literal sea of flowers. The world had paused, unified in a raw, agonizing sorrow. But behind the iron gates of the royal family's Balmoral estate, the reaction was terrifyingly different. For hours, then days, there was nothing but a chilling, calculated silence. No public address from the Queen, no lowered flags, no outward sign of mourning. To a public desperate for leadership and empathy, the monarchy appeared entirely frozen, distant, and completely indifferent. Inside those cold walls, a 12-year-old Prince Harry and a 15-year-old Prince William were trapped in an emotional vacuum. Their father, Prince Charles, sat them down to break the news, but to a young Harry, the words felt entirely meaningless. He asked the same questions over and over, unable to comprehend that the vibrant mother he had spoken to just the day before was never coming back. There was no space for tears, no room for processing, only the suffocating weight of royal protocol. When Charles Spencer discovered what the palace was planning for the funeral procession, his grief instantly morphed into absolute dread. They wanted William and Harry, two children fresh in the rawest stage of mourning, to walk behind their mother's coffin for miles through the streets of London, entirely exposed to the world's cameras. Spencer knew his sister better than anyone else. He knew her laughter, her quiet vulnerabilities, and her deepest fears. He knew, with absolute certainty, that she would have been horrified by this arrangement. He argued fiercely against the palace, pointing out that grief is a private agony, not a public spectacle for billions of viewers. He considered it cruel, unnecessary, and profoundly unnatural. But the palace apparatus remained unyielding. They countered Spencer with a claim that changed everything. They told him that the boys had chosen to walk behind the coffin themselves. Believing the palace's word, assuming that the children had found some internal, dignified desire to honor their mother this way, Spencer reluctantly stepped aside. It was a decision that would haunt him forever, because the reality was far more sinister. William and Harry had never been given a choice at all. They were children trapped in a system, told exactly what to do, and the claim of their agency was nothing more than a carefully crafted narrative designed to silence their uncle's protests. On September 6, 1997, the forced performance began. Charles Spencer walked alongside his young nephews, watching their pale faces and downcast eyes as the cameras zoomed in on their misery. Every single step along that grueling route from Kensington Palace to Westminster Abbey was a silent struggle.
What do you know about the Princess Diana passing?
Well, not much really, apart from there's a shitload of conspiracy theories around it. But if what is told to us is true, then she died in a car crash in France?
Yes, in France, in Paris. But what if I told you that wasn't technically true?
Well, you'd be going into the conspiracy bracket, but go on in, here we go.
So the paramedics found her in the tunnel in Paris, and they worked on her for over 60 minutes. So she wasn't pronounced dead until after that point. Now, what is interesting about this is there have been a lot of medical experts that have reviewed the case afterwards, and they have said that there was a chance that if Diana had gone straight to the hospital within 15 minutes, for example, which was entirely possible, there was a hospital near there, that she still might be alive.
So why didn't they get her to the hospital quicker?
Well, this is the million-pound question, isn't it? No one knows the answer to that, and obviously conspiracy theories will start swirling right now. There's no logical reason why she doesn't immediately get sent to the hospital.
Could it not just be human error? Like, could it not just be like, we can't move her, we've got to try and operate on her either?
Yeah, but no one's operating her, you know, out on the roadside. If you need to do anything serious, any serious surgery, you take them to hospital straight away. So that's why it seems really weird to me.